The college football playoff selection process may seem complicated, but it's actually not. Just think about it as having three phases. The first phase is setting the semifinal games. The number 1 team plays the number 4 team in whichever of the semifinal games is closest to number 1, and number 2 plays number 3 in the other. The next phase is fulfilling the contracts of up to 3 of the 6 bowls. When they're not hosting semifinal games, the Rose Bowl gets its traditional Big Ten versus Pac-12 matchup, the Sugar Bowl gets an SEC versus Big 12 matchup, and the Orange Bowl gets an ACC team against the highest-ranked available team among the SEC, Big Ten, and Notre Dame. All of those spots except for the Orange's second one go to the champions, if available, and to the highest-ranked available teams otherwise. Also by contract, the highest-ranked champion of the group of 5 non-power conferences gets a spot somewhere, but it's not tied to any particular game. The final phase is filling in whatever open spots remain with any Power 5 conference champions that don't have a spot yet, the group of 5 representative, and the highest-ranked teams left in the selection committee's rankings. The committee picks those matchups based on geography and trying to avoid rematches. To illustrate, let's run down how things worked in the playoffs' first year. Phase 1 is populating the semifinals. Number 1 Alabama played number 4 Ohio State in the Sugar Bowl because New Orleans is closer to Tuscaloosa than Pasadena is. Number 2 Oregon then played number 3 Florida State in the Rose Bowl. Phase 2 is satisfying contracts. The ACC champ wasn't available, so the Orange Bowl got the highest available ACC team in Georgia Tech. The other spot went to the highest available team from the SEC, Big Ten, and Notre Dame, which was Mississippi State. Mountain West champ Boise State was the highest-ranked group of 5 champion, so it earned a spot somewhere. Baylor also earned a spot somewhere as the Big 12 champion, even though its Sugar Bowl tie-in was taken up by the semifinals. Phase 3 was then filling in the other 3 games. Arizona and Boise State were the westernmost teams, so it made sense to put them in the westernmost bowl. Baylor was a natural fit for its home state Cotton Bowl, as was the SEC's Ole Miss for the Peach Bowl in Atlanta. TCU would need to go to the Peach Bowl to avoid a rematch with Baylor, leaving Michigan State as the other team in the Cotton Bowl. Which bowls make up the semifinals rotates each year, so outcomes will look different from one season to the next. The process remains the same though: semifinals, contracts, and highest-ranked teams.